Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. And for today's tutorial, we're going to be working on these butterfly and flower magnet sets. Aren't they adorable? I love making these things. They're so quick and easy. So I have a couple here that I want to show you. So this one, we have the two colors, and I followed the exact same color pattern for the butterfly and the flower. Same one with this, and I showed off a little bit of variegated. This was my scraps from, oh, I can't remember the name of the baby blanket off the top of my head. But, yeah, these were the scraps from that baby blanket, and you can see that the little antennae are a little different than the other ones. All I did is just I snipped them and then bent them down a little bit. Now this one is three colors, but I did it backwards. So this one is dark blue, purple, dark blue, and then on the flower I did purple, dark blue, purple, just to kind of show you the difference and what you guys can play with it. And now this one I did with red heart fleck, and then I just added neon green pipe cleaner on there. And then on this one, I just followed the same thing, three different colors, and I just did the exact same thing for the flower and the butterfly. But these are super easy and adorable. So you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need, now I made these out of acrylic, regular old Red Heart Super Saver. You don't have to do that. You can use Karen's Simply Soft. I made one out of crochet thread. It's tiny. But I mean, just your hook accordingly, if whatever yarn you're using, I'd go with what the hook it recommends. So for the Red Heart Super Saver, I used a 5.5. You can use a 6. You can use whatever hook size you want. They're just obviously, they're going to be bigger. So I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. You're going to need a pencil or a pen. Just nothing that has, like this pen wouldn't work because you ain't going to be able to get your pipe cleaner off this. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this pencil and we're going to put it on the pipe cleaner and twist it around to make the little curly cue at the end of the antenna. So whenever you do that with something like this, you're not going to be able to slide it out because it's going to get hooked on the rubber. So a pencil or a pen that doesn't have anything that's going to stop you from sliding off. You're going to need some pipe cleaners. Now at the end of this video, I said I was going to put a link for an Amazon to get these, but after I filmed, I looked on Amazon and they are no longer available, the ones I got. So you can just go on Amazon or wherever you could get craft supplies and find you a bunch of pipe cleaners. My pipe cleaners are, I think they're roughly like 12 inches maybe. Trying to get my measuring tape. Yeah, they're about 12 inches. It's a little wobbly, but so about 12-inch pipe cleaners. Where was I? Oh, you're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a yarn needle to weave in our ends. And I got these off Amazon, and it's just a box of these little round magnets. Get one, I'll show you. I did get those off Amazon. I will put a link in the description for those. And then you're going to need a hot glue gun. Let's see. I think that's it. So get your supplies together. And we're going to get started on making, what do they call like a cluster of butterflies? I don't know, but we're going to make a bunch of butterflies and flowers. So get all your stuff together and let's get started. Okay guys, we're going to start with a slip knot. Get that on our hook. Alright, we're going to start with a chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so now we are going to slip stitch to that first chain to form a ring. And chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2. We're going to work that for a total of 8 times. So we're going to have 8 chain 2s. The 8th one being the last thing on our hook when we finish the row. So we got our chain 1. So now we're going to work 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 2. So there's one set. My yarn is getting all tangled up. So 7 more times. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. So there's 1, 2. Keep scooching. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. We're going to pack a lot of double crochets in there, so you got to keep scooching as you go. There's 2 and 3, chain 2. And if you guys can hear that in the background, that is our air conditioner running. We had to break down and put our window units in. It got hot this weekend. Let's see, where are we at? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, chain 2. Was that 5? So there's 1, 2, 3, chain 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Scooch, scooch. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. There's 7. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and that's 8. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to slip stitch back into our first one. Not our little bitty chain 1 right there. If you can see it, there's our excuse me. There's our let me pull that up. There's our slip stitch, that little bitty belt. Here's our heart, which is our chain 1, and here's our first double. And that's what we're going to slip stitch into, is that first double. I always like to do that to make sure I don't have a ply from the other strand. Chain 1, pull up, and we're going to fasten off. Snip. Okay. So now we're going to weave in these ends. Now if you're making the flower, we want that the center circle pulled real tight, because when we hot glue the back and put the magnet on, the hot glue will come out the front. But if you're working on the butterfly, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. I mean, if it can be, it's no big deal. I'm trying to grab my needle. Okay. But just specifically on the butterfly, you want to make sure you get that, or I mean flower, you want to make sure you get that closed or the hot glue is going to come right through that little circle. So my tail, I worked around this, so it's coming out this way, so I want to continue it coming this way. So when I pull it, it's going to close. So I'm just going to run it through here. See how it's closing? Okay. Now you can see there's still kind of a little hole there, but that's okay because it's the butterfly. If you're working on your flower, you want to make sure that is all the way closed, so you just keep working around. I want to show you guys something. I was at an auction a couple months ago where they were auctioning off, it was an estate auction. The woman had passed away, and she had a bunch of sewing stuff. I do a little bit of sewing, not much, but she had this little container, and I just thought this was so cool, so I decided to use it for my scraps. And then when it gets full, I'll dump it. I just want to show you guys that. I thought it was neat. Okay, we got one more tail to weave in here. My allergies have been driving me nuts the last couple of days. My eyes are swollen, my nose is running. Okay, so I'm just going to take this in, run it through a couple stitches, and just fasten off. Or, I mean, cut it. Okay, so there's round one. So you should have, look at my notes, 23 double crochets and 8 chain 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so we're going to grab our next color. Start with the slip knot. Now we're going to take this and into any chain 2 space, doesn't matter which one, insert your hook, put your yarn on your hook, tighten that slip stitch down, pull it through, chain 1. So now we're going to work into this chain 2 space, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So we got our chain, our attaching chain 1 right there. So we're just going to start working over our tail. I forgot. 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, 3. Now after this first chain 3, I like to always scooch that to the side. Chain 2. And then still working over our tail. 3 doubles. Give me some slack. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3. So 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. So now we're going to jump right across to that next double. You don't have to work over your tail anymore. Or I mean jump across into this chain 2 and we'll work the same thing. 3 doubles, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, scooch that over, and 3 doubles right back into there. 2 and 3. So then our next chain 2 space is a little cockeyed, but all you got to do is just pull that out a little and go right back in there with your chain 3, or I mean 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. There's 3, chain 2, scooch that over, 3 doubles. Okay, jump over to our next chain 2 space and do the same thing. 2, 3, chain 2, scooch, 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and continue this around into each chain 2 space, and I'll meet you guys back here at the end. Alrighty, I've made it back around, worked my last 3 double, chain 2, 3 double in my last chain 2 space, and we're just going to slip stitch back into our first double, because this is our first double right here, because down here is where our beginning chain 1 where we attached is. So I'm just going to go right in there and slip stitch. Now I forgot to show you in the last round, but I'm going to go ahead and show you in this one. It's the same, like if you wanted round 1 and 2 to be the exact same color, all you'd have to do is what I'm getting ready to show you on this row also. So we slip stitch to the first double, and all you're going to do is slip stitch into the next one, into the next double, and then slip stitch straight into that chain 2 space, and then you'll start your, you know, if you had done, you didn't want to change colors and you just slip stitched into your doubles and then into your chain 2 and then started round 2, you just do the same thing. Because I'll show you an example. This butterfly I did in a solid color, so I did round 1, slip stitch to my first double, slip stitch into that second double, slip stitch into that chain space, and then start round 2, and then at the end of round 2 do what I showed you here, slip stitch into the first double, the next double, the next double, into the chain 2, and then start round 3. But for this one, we are going to change color again, back to the first color. Okay, so I'm into that first double. So I'm going to chain 1, pull up a loop, cut, tight. Now this one, since we already worked over, I want to show you this too. Right here, this attaching chain 1 that we worked, and then we worked our double. If you ever get confused as to which stitch you need to slip stitch into, pull on that tail and watch this chain 1 right here. See how it shrinks? And you can't see it anymore. So now you got, all that's left is your first double, second double, third double. So we're going to just snip that off. And this tail we are going to weave in. And all I'm going to do is take it through the couple loops, and I'm going to go straight into this cluster on the back of the doubles. And I'm just going to snip it. Okay, so there's the end of round 2. And you should have 48 double crochet and still have our 8 chain 2 spaces. So for round 3, we are going to, I'm going to go back to this warm brown shade, do the same thing, get a slip knot on our hook, or not on our hook, get a slip knot, insert our hook into any chain 2 space, doesn't matter which one, put the slip knot on, pull it down, pull through, chain 1. Now for this round, we're going to work 10 double crochet into this chain 2 space, and then we're going to come right over to this little gap. I guess I could say the gap between this shell and this shell, and we're just going to work a single crochet through there and go right into this next chain 2 space with 10 doubles. So I've already got, I'm going to work over my tail also. So I've already got my attach, so I'm just going to start with 10 doubles. 1, 2, 3, and once I get a good a good base started, I'm going to pull that down a little bit, and I'm just going to scooch all this over because I've got to get 10 doubles in there. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, scooch, scooch, 9, and 10. Alright, so for this little space right here, we're just going to go straight in, grab our yarn, pull up, and work a single. And then straight into this next chain 2 with 10 doubles. So there's 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, scooch that down, 6, 7, 8, 9, scooch, and 10. And I'm going to go right into this space between my 3 doubles right there and work a single. And then 10 into this one. So go ahead and repeat that around. 10, 10 doubles, a single, 10 doubles, a single, 10 doubles, single in this little gap right here. Work that around and I'll meet you right here. Alright, I've made it around. Worked my last set of 10 in my chain 2, and the last stitch of the round is going to be that single crochet in that little gap between our shells. Single, and we're going to slip stitch to the first double, got an extra, there we go, chain 1, pull up a loop, snip. Okay, now this first one we've already worked over, so we can just go ahead and snip that off. The second tail, so run this through a couple stitches on the back. Don't pull too tight, and snip. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how you can get your butterfly and the flower. So after you finish, this is kind of what it looks like, just kind of clumped together. So we have 8 10 double crochet shells, right? So half of the 8 is 4. So if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, and take your other hand, just kind of pull those and get those to where they're matching on each side. There's our butterfly. So see how we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and we just lay it in half. Now for the flower, we're going to take our piece, I'm going to jumble up so it's back to the beginning, and I'm going to put my finger in the center, and I'm just going to start laying these out, and everywhere that I have a single crochet, I'm just going to put my finger underneath there and kind of pinch it up. All the way around. And then pinch, 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 and there's our flower. Let's see that big old hole. If I was to put hot glue there with a magnet, that's just going to goo right through that. So since I didn't do it tight like I did my first one, see how tight that is? There's my flower. Find 1, 2, 3, 4. Fold it over, And here's my matching butterfly. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm going to find a pipe cleaner. Ooh, not red. I think I am just going to go with white. So I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to fold it in half, tip to tip. I'm just going to pull a little bit right here. So then it stays in that V. So I'm going to take my butterfly, run my butterfly right through the center. Now I'm going to hold this wing and this wing with my fingers, and right over that single crochet I'm just going to tug a little bit. See how it kind of pinches it up? I'm just going to hold, pinch up here, and twist. Okay, so now I'm going to pinch those together so they kind of stay like this. I need a pencil. I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to put my finger, I'm going to hold the tip of this pipe cleaner on this pencil and I'm just going to roll it. Bring the butterfly, oops, it bumped my camera. Butterfly around. Let go. Slide the pencil out. And then you got a little circle. The antennae. Go ahead and do that with the other side. Bring the butterfly around. Let go. Pull the pencil out. Ta-da! Okay, so now I'm going to take my hot glue gun. Just going to dab a little hot glue there. Put my magnet. Let that set. Take my flower, turn it over, put another little dab on there, put my magnet, and let that set. And that is it, guys. Make sure I don't burn myself. There is our butterfly and matching flower fridge magnets. They're adorable. I've made so many of these. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button and leave me a comment and tell me what you guys think. Also, in the description box, check out the links I'm going to have to the things you're going to need for this, like the magnets, the pipe cleaners. And I'm also going to have links to my Facebook group, my Instagram, Twitter, Etsy, TikTok, all that fun stuff. So check it out. Thanks you guys for watching. Bye.